My name is Mark Edward, and tonight it will be my privilege to act as your medium for a seance. Harry Houdini, gentleman portrait. Some people think he was the greatest magician that ever walked the face of the earth. Not so sure. You might be wondering why Harry Houdini and why a seance? How do the two things work together? Most people, when they think of Harry Houdini, they think of someone escaping from locks and chains or being thrown into a river and managing to get out of a sealed trunk, something like that. Few people realize that Harry Houdini spent a considerable amount of his later life asking the question, do the spirits return? Are ghosts real? In his hope that he might find a way to break through or break the bonds of death that hold us on this earthly plane, he made a pact with his wife Beatrice that whoever died first, he's already started. Did you hear? Harry, I've noticed this at the Magic Castle, and I will say this because things have happened. He tends to work a lot with electronic things. The chains and the groans and the rattles and all that, it's old hat. Now it's the technology that they work with. The lights, the room itself. Anyway, he made a pact with his wife Beatrice that whoever died first, that person would take a certain set of coded words to the grave. To this day we have not received any of those words, but perhaps tonight, if we're lucky, we may be able to reach across the ethereal path and get a message from Beatrice or Harry Houdini. Along those lines, I brought some objects from the Houdini collection. These objects are going to act as objects of invocation, that is, things that were common to the deceased persons near the time of their death. They help us to reach out to the departed souls. In the winter of 1924, Harry was thrown off the Belle Island Bridge into the Detroit River. They cut a hole in the ice. It was frozen over. The hole was a little bit bigger than this table. They dropped him in. He managed to escape from the handcuffs and the packing crate. Just the plumbing. Don't worry. He managed to escape from the handcuffs and the packing crate, but what he hadn't counted on was the current of the river which carried him downstream. So that when he came to the surface, there was no hole in the ice. Now the legend has it that he fortunately found a space between the water and the surface of the ice where he could get a breath now and then, and he managed to scramble along underneath the surface. And eventually he saw light, which he swam towards. That was the hole in the ice. He came out of the ice about 22 minutes later than he had anticipated. You can imagine what his agents and the press thought about this. They were all a little bit surprised. Swimming towards the light. It's interesting because nowadays you might call that an NDE, or what's known as a near-death experience. But in his day they didn't know what it was called. But these are the very leg manacles that he wore on that morning, over 70 years ago. They're a bit rusty, but now you know why. I'm going to place these in the center of the table. I'd like to borrow a large man's ring in honor of Houdini. Does anyone have one? In your pocket you've got one. It's an Ellis ring, right?
It's the one that catches.
Okay, good. Oh, yes, very nice. All right, we'll place it right here, and we'll hope that Harry will give us some sort of sign. I also have some slates. These were popular in Harry's time for receiving messages from the spirit world. They're not too popular now, but I love to use them. I'm going to number the sides so that we can keep track of them. This will be side number 1. Oops, this will be side number 2, side number 3, and side number 4. Piece of chalk for the spirits to work with. Place this in the center of the table. Please do not touch it at any time. We would not want to have these spirits become angry or upset. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot, the pocket watch. This is a nice gift. I received this from one of Harry's last assistants that he had. His name was Abbey Wright. He worked with the Houdinis during the last weeks of Houdini's life when they were working in Montreal. When I was in Toronto, I had the pleasure of meeting with Abbey Wright. He told me he had many tense moments in those last weeks staring at the face of this watch, waiting for Harry to make his escape. So I think it's one of those things. If you believe in psychometry, the ability for an object to hold a charge or an energy field around it, I think you would agree that these leg irons, for one thing, and possibly this watch for another, might be very powerful. So are you familiar with how a pocket watch works?
More or less, yes.
Okay, it's the correct time now, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're running a little late, but that's normal. So if you turn the hands, you can see that they move, okay?
Yes.
So I want you to hold your hand out, and I want you to go ahead and move the hands, see that they move freely. Get that looking for you. There you go. And we want to try and get a random number, one that I won't know and Houdini won't hopefully know, although maybe he will. So I'd like you to just, they move freely, correct?
Yes.
So if you would just close the lid down and snap it closed, it clicks.
It is closed.
Okay? And now keep turning the hands. And when you feel a particular psychic vibration, I want you to stop. Good. Now, I may place this here. I also have a piece of rope, much like the rope Harry used in his incredible escape. So I'm going to ask you, sir, to help me out. If you would just hold your hands flat on the table, you would. Palm down. Okay, and I'm just going to bunch the rope up here. One end goes under one thumb. One end goes under the other. That'll keep you busy. Also, I have some other toys. Actually, I forgot the documents. Very important documents. These are some papers that I collected. Harry Houdini died on October 31st, 1926, and for 10 years on the anniversary of his death, a seance was held to try and bring him back. In earnest, there were no tricks. After the final 10th seance, nothing had happened. Beatrice printed this in the November issue of the Sphinx, 1936, 10 years later. It says, Harry Houdini, you were right as usual, Harry. There is no returning. I don't think so, because I've seen Harry's powers proved too many times. I also have a copy of his death certificate, if anyone is interested. It shows, it's interesting to note, it says his occupation is listed as actor and lecturer. Yes, it seems that even in 1926 it was unpopular to list yourself as a magician. This is what's known as a condolence letter. The idea in Victorian times when someone would pass over into the other realm, they would send a black edge note. This is Harry's business card on the front. Inside, nothing. Now the idea is, I'm going to try and reach Beatrice. She's a friend of mine, and I love her dearly. She's one of the great ladies of magic. And the Houdinis used to have a house in Hollywood not far from where I live, on the corner of Lookout Mountain Road and Laurel Canyon. The house burned down in the 70s, but you can still climb the stone steps to this garden, this beautiful garden there. She loved roses. And there's a rose garden in that terraced area. It's quite overgrown. Beautiful roses, huge roses. They almost look prehistoric. They're so big and so overgrown. In fact, a few times I thought I'd seen faces in those roses, but that's another story. Anyway, would you mind holding your hand on top of this? Good. Anyway, I asked Beatrice, before I left Hollywood, I stood in the garden for a few moments and I sort of communed with her. I yielded to her energies. And I asked her, I said, Beatrice, will you give us a sign tonight? Sometimes she sends me words, sometimes she sends me things. I also brought some other toys, the traditional toys, tambourine, bell. So I think we're about ready to begin. I'm going to let you do most of the work because it's exhausting and after 3 seances, quite frankly. And I have been known to go out of control during the seance. By the way, if I should scream out or yell as if I'm in pain during the seance, please don't worry, it's just something that happens, okay? But to make sure that I don't get too out of control, I wouldn't want to injure anyone, I'm going to ask you, sir, to help me out just for a moment. Bring this candle over before I... What's that? Anyway, here's some ropes. If you have a look at the ropes, please make sure they're solid in every way. Everybody can see them. There they are. Just the kind of ropes you're all familiar with, I'm sure. So So now if you would examine the chair, you want to look, probably want to look under the pillow there because I've had to do a little, oh, Harry, don't do that yet. Anyway, let's be nice. All right, whoops. Didn't mean it, Eric, just a joke. He does have a sense of humor. Let's see. Cardor's table is... I knew I should have brought a table of my own. There we go. All right, stay here. All right, so I'm going to place the ropes underneath my legs. I'm going to ask you, sir, to help me out by tying my hands on top of my legs. Pull those, and I want you to do it tight, okay? Let me move my watch out of the way. There you go. Nice and tight, if you would. Very good. Now, that's good. A little tighter. Go ahead. That's good. Now, if you would tie the knot on top, and go ahead and pull that nice and tight as well. I have got to get a regular job. Would you try it one more time? One more on top, please. Thank you. Thank you, Todd Robbins. Okay, now, just to help me out before we go any further, since I can't move, if you wouldn't mind pushing the chair forward, right up to the table. Okay. All right. I think I'm ready. So a few rules before we go any further. Please keep your feet flat on the floor, no matter what may happen. Feel like screaming, I encourage that. Keep your feet flat on the floor, your hands on the table. Please place your hands palm down on the table. Touch your little finger to the person next to you. If you can just put that little packet under your left hand and reach across right through here and touch. You might want to move your chair a little bit, maybe. There you go. Good. We have now formed the psychic circle. This is going to act as our link with the other side. Please do not break the psychic circle at any time. Breaking the psychic circle could cause the most dreadful and appalling circumstances to occur, not the least of which could be injury or death to the medium. That's me. I'm not a medium for the fun of it, you know. It's often painful, often unrewarding. I feel it is an impertinence to bring God's creatures back from their rest for your entertainment. But I will try. Shut those people up in the kitchen. Let somebody get hurt back there? I see a red light. Harry, go back. We're not ready for you yet. So, please go with me now. Let go. I do feel a very strong energy already in the circle. Very strong. Wait. There is a disturbance. Someone is thinking about money. If we are to reach the other side, we must leave behind all thoughts that are hostile or on a low emotional level. That's better. Let go, relax. Could we turn the light out now, please? Thank you. Beatrice Houdini, Harry Houdini, will you give us a sign tonight? Beatrice, let my words go forth and let us know you are here. Yes, I feel a presence. It's drawing closer, closer to this room, gliding slowly like a vapor. Yes. Beatrice, come closer, closer to me. Now! She is with us now. I have crossed the ethereal path. She will speak. Yes. I am here with you now. I see all the old familiar things. The tambourine, the bell, and those awful leg irons. Do you wish a sign? Yes, Beatrice, give us a sign. Blow out the candle. Beatrice, are you with us tonight? Can you give us a sign? Is Harry there with you, Beatrice? Beatrice, we want a sign, another sign. Speak to us, Beatrice. Give us a sign, Beatrice. A physical sign that you're with us now. Yes, Harry is there. He says, my voice is weak, but I will try to give you a sign, a physical sign. That bell and those slates. Read the slates. Ring the bell. Listen. Harry, are you there? He is there. Harry, give us a sign tonight, Harry. But before you go back, Harry, I feel he's slipping away. The light in this room, there is too much light. Harry cannot perform with light in a room. Harry, before you go back, there are skeptics in the circle, Harry. People who want to know your secrets. Harry, how did you accomplish your fantastic escapes? Give us a secret, Harry. We're here to share this weekend. Harry, can you tell us how you accomplished your escapes? Just one secret, Harry. Give us something to go home with, Harry. Maybe write a column on ethics for vibrations. Give us something, Harry, before you go back. I will show you why you should not tamper with the unknown. The secrets I use to do my escapes with are in my mind. My mind has set me free. Yes, Harry, he's levitating me. I may go to the ceiling. He's elongating me. Harry, let me down! Harry, let me down! Go back! Back to the other side. Harry, back off! Harry, go back! Ghostly spectre, ghoul or fiend, nevermore be thou convened. Shepherd's wart and holy rite, vanish thee into the night. As he is gone, he has left us now. Go back, Harry. Back! He is gone. Do not break the psychic circle. Could you bring the lights up just for a moment, please? The ladies, on my right and left, are my hands still tied? If you would mind checking the knot. Tied, correct? Harry, one more time. Harry, free me now, Harry. Let me go, Harry. You may turn the light on now. Thank you. You may break the psychic circle. No applause is necessary. He's still with us. Harry, are you there? Are you all right? Your ring. Let's see if we got some signs or symbols. Hold your hand out, flat. That's the one. Let's see. And the ropes. You let go. Hold on to one end for just a moment. So just that end there. Let's see if Harry's given us another sign. Look. 3 knots tied in the rope. You didn't let go of the end, did you, sir? Of course, you know it takes, you have to let go of one end or the other for a knot to be tied. 1 knot for myself. These are real knots. 1 knot for Beatrice. And 1 knot for Harry Houdini. You were holding on to that? Yeah, I see. But you have received, hopefully, a message from Beatrice. Look, fresh rose petals. Did you smell roses? I smelled roses. Very strange. Quite fresh. Strange. And now the slates. Before I do this, you know how to open a pocket watch, so you just press the button on the end. You would go ahead and open it up. Read us the time.
10:33.
The slates. Look on side number 1. The message is believe. 10:33. H.H. Howard Hughes. Harry Houdini. Well, I hope I've given you a few things to think about tonight. You've certainly given me a few things to think about tonight. And I want you to remember that Harry Houdini, if he taught us anything, he taught us that any sort of limitation is only an illusion. Thank you.
asked me to investigate it, it seemed that it was haunted by poltergeist activity. Actually, it was a chicken farm, so I guess you could say it was haunted by poultrygeists. Thank you for coming, Dawn. They sent me the key, but before I could investigate, the place mysteriously burned to the ground. So now, there's nothing for the ghosts to haunt, except maybe the key itself. Watch. Watch carefully. You can almost see a spectral hand come down, grab the key, insert it into its lock, and turn. Turn, almost imperceptibly at first. At first you think you might see some movement. You're not sure. Could it be? Could it be the ghosts? Could it be your imagination? But then it continues to turn, continues to move, until the ghosts turn the thing completely over. Now, thank you. I should have known that it was a key to a haunted house right away, because when I compared it to my house key, you'll notice that this one is a skeleton key.
Oh.
You're going to see some strange things tonight. I don't ask you to believe. I merely ask you to weigh the facts and decide yourself. 85 years ago tonight, in the hotel that stood here prior to this one, there was a murder. The murder was never solved. Since that time, there have been strange occurrences that have frightened the staff and the guests alike. It is my contention that it is the spirit of the murdered victim roaming the halls, waiting for the crime to be solved. I hope you don't mind me telling you that I've willed you all here tonight. We're going to use your unique abilities to solve this crime. The murder of Sylvia Moore. Sylvia was a member of a bizarre cult that dabbled in witchcraft. She broke away from the cult and began working at the hotel that was at this spot 6 months prior to her demise. Her murder has remained unsolved. Sylvia's spirit has been haunting these halls. And tonight, we're going to try to solve the murder. The police report indicated 5 names, 5 people who were immersed in Sylvia's life that I guess you could call suspects. I would like 5 of you to take roles and attempt a sort of a surrogate role, because we're going to attempt to lure Sylvia's spirit here tonight. The rest of you, watch for clues. Victoria Ingram and her husband, Lawrence Ingram, were leaders of the witch cult. They were not happy that they lost one of their followers. But they have a good alibi. Witnesses claim they were over 100 miles away when the murder occurred. Daniel Hornbuckle was a bellman at the hotel. He had a romantic interest in Gloria, but she spurned him. He wasn't used to handling rejection. Irene Franklin was an employee at the hotel. She had a relationship with Daniel, but it ended when Sylvia entered the picture. She blamed Sylvia for their breakup. And Father Reginald Eves was Sylvia's pastor. He was helping her in her transition from leaving the witch cult into mainstream life. I would like you to take your name tags and don them if you would. Don't worry about, if you will take out the paper, you can hand that to me. You're going to play this role. I appreciate it. Don't worry about becoming possessed. I am adept at exorcisms, and I can usually dispel the spirit before too much damage occurs. Oh, one other thing. Sylvia's autopsy revealed that she was pregnant when she was murdered, if I may. Thank you. Now, there was a box found at the scene of the crime. The box held some strange implements. A pack of tarot cards, fortune-telling playing cards, as well as a bell, book, and candle that together stand for witchcraft. The book is a book of spells and incantations. The bell was the old counter bell used at the hotel. And the candle, well, a candle is traditionally used in a seance as a focal point. Now, were these items Sylvia's, or did they belong to her murderer? Maybe we can get some answers tonight. I'd like everybody, place your feet flat on the floor. Take a deep breath. Another deep breath.
I didn't let it out.
Exhale, yes. And another. Sylvia, if you're here tonight, if it's your spirit that is haunting this hotel, give us a sign. Let us know. We'll try to communicate with her directly using the Ouija board. See if we can make some communication. These are cards, each containing a letter of the alphabet. What I'd like you to do, if you would, as the Ouija board spells out messages, as the planchette points out a letter, and I call out that letter, I'd like you to find the letter, place them in a row in front of you. In this manner, we're going to be able to study the messages that Sylvia provides us. And let's first try a test to see if indeed it's a supernatural entity that we're communicating with. Stop me as I wrote the pages of this book. You stop. Say stop.
Stop.
Right there. Great. You see the first word of text on that page? Can you see okay in this light? Can you see the last word of text on the page? Choose any word between the first and last word of text on the page. If you got a word in mind. Sylvia? Sylvia. Please. Give us a message. Give us a message. Show us that you're here. C. R. U. E. L. I. F. Goodbye. Cruel. If. I-F. Irene. Right. Cruel. I see these cards. But you were not thinking of the word cruel. And there was no initials I-F. Sometimes the spirits communicate in strange ways. What word were you thinking of? We would all appreciate it if you refrained from thinking such thoughts during this seance. Using a Ouija board is like calling a phone booth on a busy street corner. You never know who is going to answer. With that in mind, I'd like to show you a little item I brought. Sylvia's crucifix, given to her by Father Reginald. And while it is small, it may be large enough to protect us against any supernatural entities that may disturb our seance tonight. Sylvia, give us a clue where to look to to solve your crime. Give us a clue. T. A. R. O. T. The tarot. Cut about halfway down. Turn them face up. Drop them on there. Thank you. Sylvia, you'll have to give us a further clue. What do we do with the tarot now? Three. 1, 2, 3. I don't understand, Sylvia. One of these cards, are these tarot symbols going to lead us to your murderer? How? Give us a further clue. How? V. I. Goodbye. V. I. There's not a tarot symbol. Lovers. Death. Hierophant. How are these clues? VI is Victoria Ingram's initials. But now, VI, there's not a tarot symbol that begins with the letters VI. Except for the Lovers has the Roman numeral VI, number 6 at the top of it. Sylvia, was it your lover who murdered you? Tell us, Sylvia, who was your lover? Who was it that murdered you? Who was your lover? D. A. N. G. E. R. L. I. Goodbye. Danger. Danger? What could she be telling us? May I see these cards? Did she just... Sylvia, was it Father Reginald? Was it Father Reginald that murdered you? Did he kill you to keep you from revealing that you were pregnant with his child? Sylvia, join hands. Don't panic. Join hands. Together we are strong. We make a chain. We protect ourselves. Don't anybody let go. Sylvia, you can rest now. We have solved your crime. We've solved the murder, Sylvia. You may rest. Sylvia? There's no reason for you to continue, Sylvia. We will set the record straight. We know who it was that murdered you. We know it was Father Reginald. We will set the record straight. Sylvia, you may rest. You may rest now. Sylvia. Sylvia, rest. Rest. Lights. Thank you. I think she has one last message. Are there any cards left? Who says the dead tell no tales? At the last seance, we kept getting the letters O-J. I think we were getting a different spirit. Thank you for coming.